We'll start the music. And you know what? I'm going to do it myself. We are record. Okay, let's get the opening music. Can you hear that?
Record.
Make it louder. And we are streaming. So let me go find our music for. Here we go. Okay, let's move a little bit.
So you wanna be
So you want to be a cool kid? You want to be a cool dude? I want to be a saucy dame. I think we are hanging with the inset. I'm the inset. You're the inset. You're in the shoe foot business. It's the insole. Casting your net. Here's a drum roll. Drums are in the other room. Bop, 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 bop. Thank you very much. Those are my lyrics, and the music and singing is by Serge Huffman, my friend in Paris, who composes music. And I'm Bonnie D, and I have a very special guest here today. His full name is Dr. Glen Robison, but he's just going by Glen R today. How are you, Glen?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here with me. Shall we get started? We have a lot to talk
Absolutely.
about. Okay, and I have to say, and you know this, you are cool dude number 50. 50. I know I should have party had or something. I'll play some fancy music for us later. But I started this series as a spin-off from We Dish, TOO, Caps, Saucy Dames, plural. I did a whole bunch of those, like 50 of those shows. And I said, wait a minute, why am I leaving the men out? I love guys. I like dudes. Well, who doesn't want to be a cool dude? And that was November of 2024. And we're now October 23rd today, 2025. So you met my goal for me. So thank you very much for accepting the
Uh-huh.
invitation. I appreciate you. Special. I'll have to get you a crown or something like that. Okay. So let me start this off, and I have a special introduction for you. I hope it'll knock your socks off. You're in the foot business, as I said. So that probably is a good thing for me to say. All right, everybody. You may know us, Bonnie D, aka Radio Red, and Glen R, Dr. Robison, as content creators, out of the box thinkers, and innovators. Here on We Dish, we're lightening up, chatting about life and food and music and entertainment. Say what stories? You're going to have to say it that way later, Glenn, and more. We're here for live. We're here on demand. That's why they invented on demand, so we can go do something else and go to sleep at night, okay? Meet us for real. Send comments. Play nice. We know who you are. Just play nice. So welcome to We Dish. Too Saucy Dame and Cool Dude. Now, here is the real opening, okay? Let me go down here. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do the real poem here. You may know us well, Bonnie D and Glen R too. Seasoned in life, we love what we do, don't we, Glenn? From
Yeah.
social channels, virtual embrace, we're sharing insights in this special space. Here on We Dish, we're here to play, lightening up life in a uniquely fresh way. I'm welcoming Glen R, a truly cool dude, as you can see already. Here's my rhyming intro. He'll add more afterwards with attitude. I hope you got your seatbelt on, Glenn. In Fillmore, Utah, where small dreams could start, a boy named Glenn carried a healer's heart. Asthma stole sleep, but sparked his quest to cure what ailed him and always give his best. Number 7 of 9 in a bustling brood, he learned early that patience and effort were renewed. Are you liking this so far?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. At 10, he mowed lawns for the town's elderly few. Then he shoveled their sidewalks when the winter winds blew. By 12, Glenn stocked shelves, learned commitment and care, early proof that he valued persistence there. His mother's belief was a steady refrain. You'll be our doctor, she'd lovingly claim. When others said no, Glenn refused to bend. Each word of support became his fuel to ascend. Glenn reached for the stars despite every doubt through study and struggle. He mapped his own, I'll say route, but it's really route. College, med school, and residency too. A dream others dismissed for him, it was now shining through. Glenn journeyed to Tonga, fulfilling a vow, healing his friends' people. His spirit showed how. A mission of mercy, compassion in hand, he served with devotion in that island land. Life's storms would still find him, heartbreak and pain, a divorce unexpected, nights filled with rain. But through the dark hours, Glenn's art took form, oil and light through a painter's own storm. Like Renaissance, I'm not even halfway done. Like Renaissance masters, this is your life. Like Renaissance masters whose canvases spoke, layer by layer, Glenn's visions awoke. Realism's magic, each color and line, revealing truth eternal, profoundly divine. In Mesa, Arizona, Glen's clinic stands tall, a haven of healing for his patients all. His podiatry skill and his art's embrace, restoring balance with kindness and with grace. From surgery's precision to Eastern care, Glen mends body and spirit with methods rare. Prolotherapy and touch combine, where science and soul in harmony align. An author, a healer, a teacher of light, Glen's stories bring courage through struggle and fight. With wisdom hard earned, through loss and through strife, he paints and he practices the art of life. His book, Healthy Dad, Sick Dad, shares lessons profound that wealth means little when wellness isn't found. A marquee honoree, Glen's name shines bright, a beacon of purpose, of compassion, and of light. So here's to Glen R., cool dude number 50 today, whose passion and faith still and will always light the way. From Utah's fields to art's bold hue, Glen is proof that persistence makes dreams come true. What'd you think?
Oh my heavens. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to cry. I wanted to, yeah, you hit all the emotional elements. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm
Good.
going to finish up the poem. We're here on We Dish, chatting on life's score, culture, music, food, and oh, so much more. Join us live or on demand. As I said, day or night, we won't be here, but that's why they invented on demand. Enjoy our dishing with shared delight. Meet us for real in our live streaming glow. Comments are welcome. Play nice, you know. We Dish, two Saucy Dame and Cool Dude, two, Bonnie D and Glen R, dishing on life's fun, pour vous. That's French. So officially, Glen R., welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you
Thank
like
you.
that. Did you say, who is that? Or did you say, hey, that's me she's talking about?
Oh
What'd you
man,
think?
yeah, you touched on all the elements. Yeah, you put my whole book I'm writing about my memoir into that one. Yeah, I'm almost done with it. So yeah, it was fantastic.
I'm glad. I will be glad to
Yeah.
I'll send you the links to the on demand, but I'll be glad to make a clip of that introduction if you'd
Oh yeah,
like it.
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, that would be wonderful. So thank you for sending me your origin story. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, here's my origin story," and they send me, "I've had these 5 jobs and I went to school here." And I said, "But that's not your origins. That's your CV. That's your media pitch. That's
Yeah,
not your origins." And I have to teach people. But you sent it freely, and see what you sent me appeared in the verse, and
yeah,
that's where I wanted to do with it. So, and everybody knows me. I'm a live streamer. I'm a podcast. I prefer live stream. I still call it radio, Glenn. I'm a host. I'm a moderator. I'm a storyteller. I'm a playwright. I'm an artist. I'm a drummer. I said poet already. I'm the creator of the 3 Minute Soundbite Technology Roundtable. I'm an early woman in tech, former stand-up comic, just trying to be funny, sitting down new. And I have to tell you, and I don't tell this to most people, but I trust you. I have to tell you, Marquise Who's Who in America said I didn't qualify, Glenn.
What?
But they offered for me to apply as a marquee emerging leader. You know what I
Oh,
did with that piece of paper?
dartboard.
There was something on my shoe. I wiped it off. There we go. So you know what? Let's start with music. I'd love to
Okay.
know your favorite music, songs, any era, any genre, any performer, any topic, anything. And by the way, the sun is coming in. It's going to cut me in half in a minute, but I'm just going to move around. So go ahead, Glenn. Tell me about your favorite
All right.
music.
So music is an element that I was raised in. My mom was a piano teacher, and so I heard piano music most every day. But I gravitated to music that had like soundtracks. So like the soundtrack of The Natural or to Braveheart or to any of the 80s movies. I would listen to those songs and then I would formulate my own words and my own desires, or like Rudy or Hoosiers. I would see myself on the basketball court. So I was really gravitated to the soundtracks. And then I got into, this may be odd, but I got into the Tongan and Hawaiian singers like Israel, Kamali Kumikakali, and then Fiji. And my favorite Christmas album is the Jets. They're a Tongan family. I mean, it's a priceless. I still have the cassette tape that I use, but
That goes back.
they're great singers. And And then in the 80s, I got into, kind of the rock bands, but I really liked there was one album that I liked called Send Me an Angel by Real Life. They're an Australian group, and they came out in 83 on this song, Send Me an Angel, and I think they came out in 89, revised it. It was on the best Billboard in Germany and New Zealand. But I love the beat on that song, Send Me an Angel by Real Life. David Tolk, Paul Cardon, piano players, George Winston. These are all great musicians, and I love listening to their music. So
Nice. Any rock and roll, any disco, any country, anything that I love being introduced to new music. And you mentioned names I don't know, but is there anything that people might recognize as popular? You mentioned soundtracks. Any other movie soundtracks?
well, I can tell you on the rock and roll,
Yeah.
when I went to pick up my medical bag in medical school, it had GNR. And the guy's like, dude, Guns N' Roses. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, GNR, Guns N' Roses. I'm like, who's that? And then I started to I listened to them, and they say sweet, they have a song called Sweet Child of Mine.
Hmm.
And I actually put that on my ringtone in my phone. So that was my
Sweet
ringtone.
child of mine.
So,
That is a great story. That's an absolutely great story. So at least you know, Sweet Mild. That's funny. Do you want to hear some of my songs?
absolutely. Yes.
Well, I love, these are probably classics. I think you know all of them. Let's start with Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have
Okay.
Fun. And I think she just had a birthday and her hair is light green now instead of pink. She looks great. She's in her 70s and happy Cyndi Lauper. Going back years, You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore. And I once made a music video of that with friends who had a rock and roll band on Long Island. And we did it for my TV show, and I had to throw a tinfoil ring in the water. The drummer lived on the water on South Shore of Long Island. Excuse me. And I threw the ring. Oh, Tony, I said. Tony was the band leader, and he was supposed to be the man I was. I said, oh, and I threw the ring in the water, and then we went to my TV studio in Great Neck, Long Island, and we decorated it like a high school gymnasium. And the band all brought their wives and I was going to say their wives, their girlfriends. Well, some had wives, some had girlfriends, and their sisters, and we brought a whole bunch of people, and we pretended it was a high school dance, and then we played "You Don't Own Me," and I was saying this behind Tony's back, dancing, and he was trying to get me away from the man I was. It was really cute. Unfortunately, my voice was so bad that they hired a backup singer to dub over me, but that's okay. She knew the band and it was fine. I liked her. Another one is I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar by Helen Reddy. I think that's an anthem. Here's one you might know, and I think you would appreciate this. Me and Bobby McGee, 1971, Janis Joplin. And the line that speaks to me is, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Glenn, is that classic? Is that, I
That
think it
is.
applies to those of us who are free spirits and doing our own thing. Another one is Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. I think
Uh-huh.
I've said that to a lot of people, men and women, mostly women in business. Respect by Aretha Franklin, Respect. Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive.
Yeah.
Yup. And one of my all-time favorites is New Attitude by Patti LaBelle. I got a new attitude. I think that's probably the most important part. And then in summary, I'm a big fan of Donna Summer, who did leave us too late,
Mm.
the disco queen. And her discography tells the story of my life. She works hard for the money. Hot
Yeah.
Stuff. I was never a streetwalker in LA. Don't look at me like that. But I was called Hot Stuff by a lot of people. On the radio, I still think of this as radio. No More Tears, Enough is Enough, duet with Streisand. Last Dance. I used to teach dancing, ballroom and hustle and Lindy and Latin. And I just dance in the kitchen now. I Feel Love, which had that wonderful mechanical beat in the back where I Feel Love sounded like they were vibrating on a motorcycle. Never mind. And Heaven Knows from the MacArthur Park Suite. Donna Summer's version of MacArthur Park Suite charted higher than Richard Harris's original set of Heaven Knows, which I think it was 26 minutes long. And I danced in a disco Hawaii contest with my professional partner at the time, Michael Walker, and we danced to Heaven Knows from the suite, and that's why it's in there. So those are my songs. Did you recognize a bunch of them?
A few of them, and I probably would, if you played every one of those, I would recognize them. So
I think you
yeah,
would.
that's just how my ears work. So
Okay. I thought you said that hurt makes your ears hurt.
no,
Okay.
no.
No, that's okay. Yes, I think we all, there were songs you mentioned that I don't think I know. And if you played them, I'd probably say, yeah, I know that
Yeah.
song very well. So, okay, good. So let's go to the part of the show called Off the Top, Fast and Furious. Doesn't have to be that fast, and we definitely don't have to be furious. Let's start with, I'm going to pick 3 or 4 from the list I sent you, and let's have some fun with these. It'll be a conversation. And let's talk about your creativity superpower, what you love, not so much, but Glenn, I really want you to talk about your art, your painting. And do you have anything you can show us? Any pictures? I should have asked you before. Anything you want to hold up or I don't know, anything? I know you've got
There's
the
a lot.
virtual background.
I have a lot in this room here. So yeah, here, hold on one sec.
Okay. As he rolls
I
off the
just went out.
set. Got to
So,
hold it right underneath your nose. And let's see, it's disappeared so far. Yes, hold it there.
so this
Hold it.
is by a
Move back a little bit. Yes.
this is by
Yes.
oh, okay, right there.
Stop. Stop right there. Yes.
Okay.
Tilt
So
it. Tilt it down a drop toward you. Perfect. Okay. Tell us what it is.
so when I started out painting, this is one I did. It's one of my earlier ones. I liked it. I think it's an old master, not a master's, but an old artist that painted this of a lady. Um, I think waiting for her husband to come in from the ocean out to work, and so I like the colors. My art teacher just had this, and so she said paint it, and so it's just one of the 75 that I have.
Glenn, it's
And so
gorgeous. It's just
I
gorgeous. Do you want to stop the virtual background for a second and show us the paintings for real? You want to go back into settings if you could do it fast and
yeah, I can do that.
just cancel it and then you'll start it up again because we need the background later, but
So camera, there we go.
virtual background and just click none and then we'll see your room. You see it?
The background and click.
None.
And okay.
Underneath your picture,
Mhm.
you think?
And I have the oh, there it is. Okay.
There you are. Now you can show us. Good. I want to do justice to your beautiful artwork. Tell us what we're looking at, please.
Okay.
This is gorgeous.
So
Oh,
um that ocean scene, I really like. It's a photo of a canoer that's going out in, I think it was in like out there by Indonesia. And so I have this actually in my one of my treatment rooms, and I can always pick up on somebody's emotion on what they tell me about this picture. They'll say, "Oh, I'd love to be there, so peaceful," or somebody will say, "No, it's a volcano. I don't want to be there." So I can gauge what emotions they're at. And then the one, it's a big one, the biggest one I've ever painted. It's a 36 by 48. I did remarry, and my love of my life, my bride, we had photo shoots in Kauai, and so I just finished that one about a month ago, and so I painted her and I, and then one above that, the apples was actually my first ever colored painting I did when I started back up after 18 years of hiatus of stepping away from it. The one to the other side of that, that little boy over there is my little boy. He was at the beach. I took the picture, so I painted him. And then the one right below that is my other boy that was at the ranch on his horse. I just happened to put a different background in there.
tell us about your technique. And I'm going to consider this your conversation about your superpower because this is a superpower. What is this technique you use? Tell us a little more, please.
Okay, so the technique that I use
Sit
is,
back up. There you go.
there we go.
Okay.
All right. So it's called the master's technique, and it's not being taught that much in college. And if you follow or study the masters, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, their students, they use what you call a glazing technique. And since the medium was so expensive, especially blue, which I'll talk about, but it was so expensive that they had to use it sparingly. So they'd put layer upon layer, and they all, I think most of them start out black and white, and then they'd add a lucent paint, and they'd have 15, 20 layers of paint. And so that's why, when you go to the Louvre or somewhere like that, and you look at these Mona Lisa or the Last Supper, they look like they were just done a week ago or a year ago, but they're 500 years old and they have this lustrous glow and pristine value. And it comes through the layers of the glazing and how you encapsulate the lights. So you glaze the darks and you bring in the lights. And so the lights on top of the paintings are actually an opaque paint. And so when the light hits it, it bounces off. And so the human eye captures that. And so the master's paintings is that form of realism. And it's basically a realism art. And I have a fantastic teacher. She just, I'm not going to say her age. If she watches this, she'll get upset at me. But
Don't say
anyhow,
it. Is she older than 25?
yeah, she's about
Then
26.
okay, don't say her age, then that's fine. Or we could do the Jack Benny 39.
Yeah.
Jack Benny was always 39, remember? Okay. All
And
right.
I'm always 32. So,
I'll go for 39.
but
I'll take 37. I'll take 37. Okay, good.
but
Good.
she's been studying her whole life, and that was a story in itself. I don't know if you have time on that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, go ahead.
um,
Tell us.
there was a moment in my life where we all hit these moments in our life when they become our darkest days. And
Mhm.
um, what brought me out of that, I always say painting saved my life because
Mm.
literally, I says, in my mind, I says, I need to find somebody to help me to paint because I started back up again. I couldn't get the colors right. And so I stumbled upon this patient who happened to break her foot that came into my clinic and I was treating her. And right at the end of her treatment, 2 months later, she brought her sister in. And her sister says, "Oh, my sister is a painter." I'm like, "Really?" I says, I've been trying to find somebody to help me paint." And so I showed her some of my paintings in the past. And then I had to convince her. I says, "Look, just one day, all I ask is just one lesson. Will you take me on and teach me?" And she said to me, she saw my eyes and she saw, man, there's something that I do need to help this guy. He may not live another day. So
Oh
she felt so
my.
bad.
Oh
And so
my.
she felt bad for me and she says, "Okay, you show up in my place and we're going to sit down and I'll show you some things." And so I showed up and she handed me this 11 by 14 cardboard
Mm-hmm.
board. She says, "Go home and paint that picture." And they're just a bunch of squares and circles and everything. Bring it back. I'm like, "What? That's my first lesson?"
Yeah.
So I went home and I looked at the circles and I looked at the squares and the triangles and I tried to paint all the values in there the best I could. And I brought it
Mm-hmm.
back to her and she says, "Okay." Uh, and then she brought out another board and that's where that apple came from. And we
Mm-hmm.
painted the apple. And now 7 years later, we've been painting together every Wednesday.
That
And
is wonderful.
yeah, I've kind of put away the scalpel in the OR hospital, or I still do it in the office, but I've
Mm-hmm.
been picking up the paintbrush more and more. And it's incredible what I'm learning from this realism glazing technique that one day it's my goal to paint a masterpiece. And
I think you're on
uh,
your way. Do people ask you if you do you exhibit in a gallery? Do you have an exhibition? I know they're in your treatment rooms, in your office, but do you sell them? I'm just curious. I'm sure people ask you.
no, I don't sell them. And the reason it's only an ego thing because once I sell one, then I become a professional and I'm not ready for a professional status.
Is okay, now maybe that's your superpower is that you recognize the difference between doing something for enjoyment and personal
Yeah.
enlightenment, satisfaction, peace of mind, whatever it is. You've mentioned so many emotions, Glenn, and you do it for all of those for you. You share the beauty with other people who come into your space. So it's basically privileged viewing, if I can say that.
Yes.
And you were kind enough to show some to me and our viewers, but your superpower is you know the difference between doing something for your own values and money. And there's a difference there. There's a line there, isn't there? A fine
There
line.
is.
Yeah.
The gallery is my office. So when somebody comes in, there's no TV, there's no magazines. What they see is artwork. And I get so many compliments. They're like, "Man, this is the most peaceful."
I
medical practice I've ever seen.
I've
And
had
every
people, go ahead. I was going to say
no, go ahead.
I've had some therapists on my Monday creativity show who use not original paintings like you, Glenn, but posters and artwork. Maybe they buy it or they see it, but they put them in there as a conversation piece to relax people. People walk in and say, like you said, is that a storm? Is that a volcano? Is that a boat about to save these people? And it brings out what's on the person's mind in the therapy session and becomes a starter, an icebreaker. So please go ahead.
So here's what is interesting also. I just had a patient in last week, and he kind of just got upset at me. He says, I did not know you were the artist. And I've been treating him for years.
What do you mean?
And he says, all these paintings in your clinic is you did it. I says, yeah. He says, you never told me. I says, I don't tell anybody. And he says, my wife came in, brought her mom, and she says, did you know Dr. Robison's the one that painted all these paintings? He goes, no. He said to me, he says, I work for a lady that collects art and all this high-end art. And she just buys cases after cases, and they come in these protective boxes. She says, I thought you were the same kind of individual that you buy all this famous artwork. And so I didn't say anything, but you actually painted this. I says, yeah. So I never tell my patients I paint them. They either will look at my signature at the bottom or that. What my goal is with the painting is to take away medicine, this fear of needles and whatever about that ready to happen, and bring them down on a plane that I can help them feel calm and peace and say, okay, this is what we need to do. And if we can get through this, they're better off. And 60-80% of my challenge is getting that person in the right frame of mind so I can help them. So
You have so many superpowers in what you just said. So the idea, though, a way of finding a way to use art, your skills, your vision of what art is, and putting it on a canvas to help people relax for something that they would normally not be relaxed for. They're primed for, oh no, for pain, they're primed for distress, they're primed for being nervous, they're primed for fear. And you're saying, let's enjoy some art together. No ego on your part. Not that's my art. What'd you think of it? It's just there. This is very, very interesting. So I'm going to ask you the question, then I'll tell you mine. I think you won't be
okay.
surprised at mine, but Glen R. And I heard you say Robison. I said Robison. I apologize, Glenn. Robison. You should have told me. Okay, now, pronunciation, very important. So, question. What is your number one superpower? What do you love about it? What do you not so much love about it? Glenn?
It's these guys, my hands.
Okay.
And the reason why I love about it is that not only do I can pick up a paintbrush and paint uh, that I see beyond the painting, um, but I can also place them on the foot of my patients, and I can listen to their pulses, and I can tell what
Mm,
part of their body is off. There's actually another, you can check the wrist. It's called pulse diagnosis.
mm,
So it leads me into other things I'm into, healing people holistically.
mm-hmm,
But the ability to, say, give a shot to a child that needs to have his ingrown toenail out, and
mm-hmm.
to precisely put that in, calculate how much to reduce as much pain as minimal as possible, because it's no fun getting shot in the foot
No.
or taking something out or that. So the ability to touch is probably
Hmm.
I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have my hands. So
Is
yeah.
reflexology part of it? You mentioned pulse therapy. Is reflex because I've had reflexology massages done to my feet where they say that there's a mapping of the main body organs to different parts of the foot, and by massaging each section of the sole of the foot a certain way, you will improve or heal what's going on in the organ in the body that's mapped to it. Do you believe in that?
Yeah, to a degree, I do.
Okay.
There's 12 meridians in the body, and 6 of them are in the feet. So
Mm-hmm.
the kidney meridian runs right down into the little toe.
Mm.
Um, but it runs over the inside of the heel. So that's why when somebody comes in with heel pain, like plantar fasciitis, I'll never use ice because you don't want to shock the kidney. So
Oh,
I use heat.
oh.
So these little elements that I add into the meridians, reflexology, they are pinpoint areas, but I take it a deep further, and so I use Jinsen Jitsutsu, which is a Japanese pressure points 26. And so, like when somebody's ready to pass out because they either their vagal vagus response just happened,
Yep.
I'll cross my hands, hold both sides of the ankle, and they'll take them right out of it so they don't pass out. Or I can feel right underneath the knee, which is area 8, and it tells me if the ankle's tracking right or not. And so I can go and start to do evaluations. And so if the, or, there's just, so it's a mapping area technique to me. So yeah, there's a lot to it, but yeah, reflexology, there's truth to it. Everybody loves their feet rubbed. So yeah.
No comment. Wow. Well, you have so many superpowers. This is very, very interesting. You want to know what mine is? What I think
Absolutely. Yes.
mine is getting people like you to talk to me.
You do good. You're excellent at this.
Thank you. Getting you
Yeah.
comfortable enough to trust me to share what you're thinking and to ask the right questions and to get you to basically bring out in you what I would like to hear, what I suspect is that creative part of you. You have so many. I wish I lived close enough to have my feet treated by you. And I was telling you before that in my novella, I'm still writing after 3 years. Maybe it's, yeah, 3 years. There is a somebody who is an expert at his mother's. I won't tell you that. I'll send you the draft of it, or I'll send you that chapter. He learns the proper technique for a pedicure and foot massage in his mother's very high-end Miami spa, and he goes on to be a fabulous salesperson for high-end shoes at a major New York City department store because he has such a knowledge of women's feet and their importance and the sense of health and peacefulness and wanting to pamper the foot. And that's his specialty. I think they call him the foot whisperer in my book. So
Oh
maybe,
man.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe
I'll
you know.
read it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
I'll send you that chapter. It's just
Okay.
about eight pages. I'll send it to you. Just it's NDA. We'll sign an NDA. There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
That was lovely. Okay, where are you located, by the way?
Mesa, Arizona. That's where the
Oh,
clinic is.
I'm not driving there anytime soon, but good to know. You're welcome to come down here to Tennessee. All right,
Okay.
let's talk about. All right, this is really important. I don't know if you're comfortable sharing this, but I'm going to ask anyway. How do you start your day with a drink, with food? Don't talk about exercise or reading the news or all. I want to know what do you put in your body? Something that powers you for the first part of the day because you're doing so much and you're doing it so well, Glenn. And you care so much about doing things well. I can tell that. What do you use to set that engine going in the morning? What do you do?
All right. First thing in the morning for the past 18 years, I do what a daily detox mix. So
Mm.
I get a pint jar of water, and it
Yep.
has to be reverse osmosis water.
Okay.
And then I pour about 20 to 25 drops of natural, it's called trace minerals. It
Mm-hmm.
comes out of the Great Salt Lake.
Okay.
It has 80 plus trace minerals in it. So whatever my body needs, it'll take from that. Then I have a cocktail concoction of a pre-mixed uh, powder solution that has spirulina, which is a green blue algae, a red marine algae, sodium alginate, apple pectin, psyllium, and green vibrance. So it has everything that will pull any toxin out of my body that I breathed or ate the day before. It'll bind things and eliminate it out. So I put a teaspoon of that in this pint jar of water, shake it up. My ritual is I shake it 3 times, say thank you, thank you, thank you, and then I drink it. And then I don't do anything for about a half hour, and then I will eat a banana after that, and that's my ritual every day. And so yeah.
Glenn, stop. How you have just paralleled to a degree so much of what I do. I'm I'm just
Really?
yeah. Really? Well, mine is simpler and it's different. I'm not detoxing anything. Yes, I'm intoxicating something, me. So what? No, no alcohol is involved. I have a individual Hamilton Beach blender with the pulse button. It doesn't have an on off. It's not a Ninja or anything like that. I've been buying them for years, but I run through them like crazy because the jars get leaky or the motor wears out. I use them every day, and I put in 8 ounces of 1% milk and sometimes some frozen sliced strawberries, unsweetened. If I'm really in a good mood, I'll put a little bit of old-fashioned vanilla ice cream in, but mostly not. Sometimes a shake of ginger and a shake maybe of cinnamon, little bit, and then I put a banana in. And if you
Okay.
see somebody in the Food Lion, I won't tell you where, Food Lion supermarket, spending 20 minutes in the banana part of the produce section, it's me because I buy 9 bananas a week. And they can't be too ripe and they can't be too green, and they have to be ready to start using them the day after I bring them home. So if I shop on a Tuesday, I need one to be ready for. And you may know this, if you eat a banana before it's just ripe enough, it'll leave a chalky taste in your mouth and in your throat that's, ugh, it lasts for hours with me. So I need those bananas to last. So I buy some greenies and some almost ripe and maybe one that's ready to go. So 9 bananas, and then I keep a light on that part of the kitchen counter over them. I put them in a big glass. It's an antique punch bowl on a pedestal, and it has a light over it, and I leave the light to help and ripen them a little bit. So I'll put the banana in with the milk and with the little spices, and sometimes I'll add dry cocoa, and then I start pulsing it. And Glenn, I, I, this is just, you just blew me away. Okay, not only the banana, but about 3 weeks ago, I started using it for meditations in the morning that I've never done. And
Mm.
I will say, look after, or I'm not praying, but I'm just meditating. I say, I'm thinking of, and I'll name my daughter and her husband and the 2 dogs, and they're traveling in their RV right now, and they have a name for the RV. It's Iris. So I'll name them all and I'll say, I'm thinking of all of you. And then I pulse a little more. And then I name my son and his wife and his 2 daughters, and one is a boyfriend and one is engaged, and I name them all. And then I pulse a little more. And this is all very quiet. I live alone, so there's nothing interfering with it. And then I will say to all the people I know and care about who need help, I'm thinking of you. And somebody just had a tragic accident down the block, catastrophic. I'll tell you later. And I say, I'm thinking of Carlos. And then I think about my friend Don, who is not doing well. And then I'll think of people who I know are ill or something struggling with something. And I'll name them or I'll just think about them. And then when I'm done, I'm still pulsing. And then I say, and how about a little bit for me? And I give all of my names, my original name, my middle name, my maiden name, my married name, and my akaRadioRed name. And it all comes out to be a very funny word when you take all the initials. And I'll giggle. And then I'll pulse a little more. And then I take the cap off. I put a reusable straw that I've used the pipe cleaner thing inside. And I will take it in my office and drink it. That's my morning ritual. I
Oh
couldn't
man.
believe when you said banana and you said thank you, thank you, thank you. Glenn, you just are you feeling this? Like, wow, we didn't rehearse this.
No, you asked me what I did, so that's what I. I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible. Yeah. So, if I can say something,
Yeah.
make sure you get organic strawberries.
Okay.
And here's why: because they spray extensive pesticides, and it's on the ground.
Yep.
You're going to find something, and then also organic bananas. There is a difference between regular
Yes,
bananas and organic.
I can get organic bananas. I became allergic to apples when they started spraying
Mm,
them with Alar years ago. I can't eat kiwis because of the fuzzy
mm,
skin that has pesticides on it. There are certain
yeah.
fruits I can't, some seasons I can't go near fresh strawberries. I can't go near cantaloupe. I can't go near certain things, and I have to be very careful of the fruit and vegetables that I eat. So I'm very aware of that, but thank you.
Absolutely.
So that's my morning ritual, my milkshake, and
That sounds,
it powers me. It makes
man.
me happy. Makes me
Well, there is a power in gratitude, and we're
yeah.
all on the same wavelengths. Einstein talked about this. You could be 3,000 miles away, and if you have the same wavelength, you're picking up
Mhm.
on it. So who knows?
That
Tennessee and Mesa, Arizona, we're picking up on the same thing.
maybe that's why twins can feel the same thing, right?
Yeah,
They say twins get when
yeah.
somebody's injured or hurt, they feel it miles away, decades away, not but continents away. I've got to move off of this. We're just going to sit here and have this
Okay.
great time. Now, uh, I have one zinger to talk about in a minute, but I'm going to do one easy one. Something you lost, broke, sold, gave away, just can't find that you wish you still had. What is that?
Time. And this sounds odd. I was beating up my little brother in church, and my mom grabbed me by the shirt tail, took me across the street, and said, "Walk home." And so, from the church to my house, there was only 3 blocks.
Yep.
They made it home before I did, and I remember walking by this house, and this white dog came running out, and I have no clue what happened for 30 minutes of my life. And I wish every day I could get that back, and it drives me nuts. So, as odd as it sounds, I know that dog was right here, and I know where I was right before the house, my parents' house. And they had made it home before me. And so that's what I lost. And it's I have no idea what happened for 30 minutes of my life.
Wow, that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
well, mine right now is immediately I had a little tiny zipper purse in one of my drawers. I carry when I move, I bring like a 53-foot moving truck. Had to move me this time with the piano, and I have 300 paintings and my mother's piano and all that stuff. So anyway, there's a little bag that I put, it's gonna sound so silly. I put a whole bunch of safety pins of different sizes that I'll use to hold a strap, or I'll tie something on, or if I have a blankie I want to have over me when I'm watching TV at night and I want to pin it in the front so it doesn't move around. I lost that 3 days ago and I'm searching.
Oh
It's just
no.
one of those little giveaways you get at a bank or a store, and it's just got somebody's logo on it. It's no more than just about 3 inches by 3 inches. It's got a little zipper, and I know I have all of the safety pins and all the pins I need. Just coincidental. And I went looking for it the other day, and I can't find it. I can't
Oh,
find it. But I'll tell you something that I found. This is interesting. I don't know if you can see this. See this bracelet?
yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. This bracelet is so easy to put on that almost in the dark, I can put it over my wrist and put the latch in and then put the little safety. And what's interesting about this is my mom loved to collect antique jewelry. My dad was a doctor, he was a radiologist, and there was an antique store near his office in Jamaica, New York. And once or twice a month, he'd stop by the antique store. It was Mrs. Mock owned it with her husband, and they had all kinds. It was a dark little store, and he'd bring things home. So my mother had a whole bunch of beautiful pieces, brooches, and little bracelets and rings and things that Dad found. And on special birthdays or occasions, my mother would take one of her pieces of jewelry, wrap it in a little piece of tissue paper or Kleenex, put it in her purse, and if we went out to dinner for a family birthday or whatever, she'd hand it to me or my sister and say, "Here, happy birthday," and it was one of her pieces of treasured jewelry. The reason I'm getting to this is I found this among all kinds of hundreds of pieces of jewelry that I've collected myself over the years. A lot of costume, but some good. And I had no idea where it came from. I
Wow.
didn't know. This is the found part, okay? Now,
Okay.
one night I like to play Words with Friends at night on my iPad. I have the big iPad, the heavy one, and I do it in bed, and it's what brings me down just so I could go to sleep at night. That's my sleeping pill. It's just doing, and I play 45 games with about 6 people around the world, and I just play as many as I can. And when the iPad drops on my tummy, I put it on the side table and I just go to sleep. That's how I do it. Well, Apple has this habit of putting a carousel of old pictures at the top of the screen when you open the iPad.
Hmm.
Memories. And all of a sudden, I'm looking, and there's a picture of my mom, Ruth, sitting in the restaurant where we used to go in the building she lived in her later years. And she's having her milkshake or whatever she's drinking at the time we were having lunch. And this bracelet is on her wrist. I had no idea where I had gotten this bracelet, Glenn. And
Oh
it's in
wow.
the picture on my iPad at 12:30 in the morning about 2 months ago. And it's the bracelet. I
That you
almost fell out of bed.
Oh my heavens.
That's a
Wow.
found and lost. That's the opposite, right? Is it's almost creepy. It was like
Yeah.
I needed to know. I kept saying it's such a pretty bracelet. Was it mom's? Did I buy? I couldn't
Hmm.
remember. And there's the picture with her wrist up holding this glass, and here is the bracelet. Exactly
Wow.
that bracelet. It's look. I
That's
said, wait,
incredible.
how did Apple know? And how did you know I do gratitude and I eat a banana every day? Come on, Glenn. Come on.
The universe knows. Yes.
This is too much. I don't know. I think we're having a problem here. Let me see what's next on our list here. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. One sec. All right, hold on. One sec. All right. Okay. Hello. Yeah, this is Bonnie D. Oh, come on. You always call me when I'm on the air. Yes, I know. Who's this good-looking guy I'm with? I know you're watching the show. It's Glen Robison. He's an artist. He's a podiatrist. He's a very caring, very smart, very learned person. Yeah. Wait a minute. Who is this calling? Oh, I recognize you. That's Ron Howard. I hear Steven Spielberg. He's there. James Cameron is there. Quentin Tarantino is. Guy Ritchie is there. Wait a minute. I hear a woman. Is that Shonda Rhimes? I hear Aaron Sorkin. Everybody knows Aaron Sorkin's voice. Seriously? Okay. What do you, is it the usual? Okay. You want Glenn to decide you're going to make a movie or a TV show with the lead character based on his life, but it's not about him. Everything he's done is are the characteristics of the lead character. Okay, you want him to pick the name of the character, the name of the movie or TV show is his choice. You want him to pick a director. How's he going to pick a director? Michael Bay is there. Francis Ford Coppola is there. Oh my, Mel Brooks, come on, he's long gone. Seth MacFarlane is there. Robert and Michelle King are there. Chuck, look, this is getting ridiculous. No disrespect, but you've got too many people there. Okay, so I'm supposed to ask Glenn. Glenn's listening. I'm supposed to ask him, does he want you to make a movie or a TV show? Who does he want to direct? It's okay if he picks somebody who's not there? Okay, Glenn, you can pick somebody else who's not there. Okay. And you want him to pick, is it going to be action, drama, fantasy, musical, romance, comedy, sci-fi, thriller, horror, time travel, anything, any combination of genre? And you want him to pick the title of the film or TV show, the actor, and the director. Okay, I will ask Glenn, and can I call you? Will you be there for a while? Yeah, we've got about another 30 minutes to the show. I'll call you back. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, Glenn. They do this almost every time I'm on the show, and it's annoying, but it's interesting. It's fun. So they want to make movie or a TV show. You get to pick. Is it a one-time off TV special? Is it a serial? Is it a couple of arcs, couple seasons? Is it a movie, feature film? Is it animated? And the character will be based on all the things you've been talking about today. They want somebody who has art and who is caring and passionate and has some kind of a professional degree, but it's not you, but it's based on you. What's the title? What's the genre? Who's the director? And who's playing the character? That's a lot, Glenn. Can you handle
That
it?
is a lot. Yes.
Okay, good. All right, go ahead. Tell us.
Mel Gibson is the director.
Okay.
It's going to
Oh,
be a drama.
okay.
Jason Statham's going to be the actor.
Whoa. Whoa. That's
And the
big.
movie's called Show Them. And it's going to be the story of my life from day one. Well, it's going to
It's
lead up
not you.
to,
It's based on you. It's a character.
yeah,
It's
okay.
a fictional
So
character.
this
So
little boy that is now gonna you go to Tonga and help people over there. So
what are we calling the little boy? He needs a name.
curious,
That's his name.
curious.
Curious. Curious. Okay. Very interesting. And who did you say is going to direct this?
Mel Gibson,
Mel Gibson. Okay. Very interesting. Feature length movie.
about a 2 hour long.
And who plays the little boy? And does the little boy grow up in the movie? Is this a flashback?
The boy does grow up. I'll have to find the actor, but it'll be kind of like a Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid. Maybe he
Right.
has
Okay. Ralph Macchio. Macchio. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Is it a flashback movie? Is he telling the story of in the
Yes,
past?
yes.
Okay. Very, very interesting. Feature length. No animation. What about music? Is it going to have a soundtrack?
Oh, it has to have the soundtrack. It
I've
has
I've
to have.
never they've never asked me to pick who the director or the are there any favorite songs you want in the soundtrack, Glenn?
Well, I'm going to ask the Boston Symphony to come in and make some soundtracks on there and to put it throughout the entire movie. And it's going to have the ups and downs and highs and lows and makes you laugh and makes you makes you.
Do you
So,
you going to write the screenplay for them or do you
uh,
want to consult?
well, I've been working on it, but
Touche. Well, thank you. Mine is much simpler. It's going to be a happy comedy. It's going to be a serial TV series. It's going to be about without commercials. Who was it who just did Leanne Morgan just did her series. She did about 15 episodes. They were 19 minutes apiece with no commercials. I don't know what channel, but 19 minutes apiece. So you could just watch three in an hour and you were, 20% done with the whole series. It was really cool. Mine's going to be, and it's going to star either Reba McEntire or Bonnie Raitt or Redhead, and it's going to be a musical comedy because I used to do stand up, and I say I like to be funny sitting down now, and it's going to be about me. It's going to take place in a classroom at a school where they have adult education, and it's something from my past when I was teaching eBay buying and selling skills. And my classroom had 6 PCs. I was at the Great Neck Public Schools adult education. And I walked in, I knew the director, and I said, "Hi, Rana, I want to teach eBay. I'm out of work right now." And she said, "Oh, good. We just got rid of the teacher. The class starts in 5 days. You want to take it over?" I said, "What? What?" She said, "Oh, I know you, Bonnie. You could do it." So I put together a curriculum, and there they were. They were doctors and lawyers and people who stayed home. I won't name them, household engineers, we call them. Used to be housewives. And they all had something they thought they wanted to sell, and they wanted to learn how to sell it. So I had to make up these little scenarios of, okay, Glenn sitting in the back row. This went from 7 to 10 at night, and people were tired. It was the end of the day. It was a 3-hour one-time course, Glenn. So I had to make up these scenarios. So I say, "Glenn, what do you want to sell?" "Well, I have these great pair of alligator shoes, and I don't wear them anymore, and they cost me $500, and I want to get some money back." And then I'd say, "Okay, Bob in the front row. You're playing a character who wants to buy those, but you know what? Mary in the front row, her husband really wants them. And then we're going to have a bidding war." And I get everybody involved in the scenario. So my TV show would be about a redhead who's also plays music and plays the drums in this case and sings and maybe plays a guitar. Maybe the whole group plays a guitar. And each week it would be a different person bringing something they wanted to sell. It would be the venue of where they got the thing, how they came into it, what they paid or whether it was a gift, why they wanted to sell it, the background of the person and the provenance of the item, and who else was there and why they wanted to buy it. So it would be a whole set of backstories around this one item for sale, and then we'd see who actually won it in the show. So what do you think? Would that be interesting?
Oh yeah, it got my attention.
I don't think anybody's ever done anything like that. So it would be Reba, and directing Reba would direct it, or you know what, Shonda Rhimes, because I talk fast sometimes and the conversation would be so fast it could be a Shonda Rhimes show. And if you blink and your eyelash goes in the wrong direction, you miss 3 lines of dialogue and you go, "Wait a minute, can I go back and rewind?" Anyway, I'm getting all excited. So that would be my show. Would you watch it?
Absolutely, I
I would
would.
watch. I would watch your movie too. I think that'd be really a lot of fun. Now I'm going to take a drink of water because I'm all choked up here. This is. I hope you're having a good time because I certainly am. I would like you to start now. This is very important. I don't know if you're going to pass this test, Glenn. We've
All
gotten
right.
this far in the show, but in order to do the final segment of the show, you have to be able to say it the following way. We're going to do say what? Can you say that?
Say what?
You could do a little better. Come on, give me a little more oomph
Say
there.
what?
That's better. Okay, we're going to do say what? These are our wacky stories. Glenn's going to present 3. He's just going to talk through them. I have 3 I will show on the screen because I picked special stories for you that I think you're going to love, and then we'll wrap up. So why don't you talk through yours? I'm going to put you on speaker view, and I'll get ready to put mine on the screen. Go ahead, Glenn. What are your stories?
So here's the 3. It's history of breakfast. So there's a saying that says, "Bring home the bacon." Everybody thinks it's bringing home the money, but bringing home the bacon originated in the 12th century of England. If a married man could testify in front of God that he had not argued with his wife in a year, he would be awarded a side of bacon. It was a great honor to bring home the bacon. That's where that saying came from.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, very
Now,
funny. Okay, I've got some bacon here now I'm hungry. Okay, I'm gonna
the
bacon and
next
eggs for
one,
breakfast. Yeah, go ahead.
next one, Abraham Lincoln, one of my favorite presidents. He had his own personal podiatrist by the name of Dr. Zachary. He had, and Abraham Lincoln said, "With great dexterity, taken from some troublesome corns of my toes, he is now treating me. I believe with success, and what pain people call my backache, we shall see it will end." So not only did Dr. Zachary was his podiatrist, he was also one of his closest camaraderies, and they even talk about that he was a personal spy or confidential agent, which I didn't know.
Wow.
Now, the last one I have, since I'm into art, I'm not going to read this 12-page report here, but I find it fascinating with art. Blue is the most expensive color to produce to gain access because of its rarity. So here's what's really interesting. Historically, blue dyes were difficult to come by and expensive to manufacture. The most popular blue dye was derived from the murex shellfish, which was harvested in the Mediterranean Sea. The dye was incredibly expensive to process and could only be used in small batches. The dye was also quite labor intensive and could take weeks to produce a single batch. Then there was another dye called ultramarine.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from lapis lazuli,
Mm-hmm.
was incredibly expensive and hard to acquire until the 19th century. So, you'll see in the old realism era that very little blue was used. It just was rare, very expensive, but they did use it. Yeah, so those are my three.
Thank you. Very interesting. Let me do a screen share here. Let's go to the screen. I have a picture here that I want to show, and let's see if I can share this. And I think you're going to like this. You should be seeing my screen right now. Do you see it, Glenn?
Yes, I do.
Okay, it's got a lot of things sticking off of it, like feet and legs and claws
Mm.
and all that. This is a photo of the day where I found this from a calico lobster. I don't know if you've ever heard of a calico lobster. I'll read the caption. Say hello to Jackie, short for Jack-o'-lantern. Not only claws I picked for you, but because it's almost Halloween. This is a 1 in 30 million calico lobster, made her debut at Northeastern University's Marine Science Center in time for Halloween with her spooktacular orange and black shell. Is that interesting?
That is very interesting.
Is that
Wow.
gorgeous? I used to eat lobster, but I've never seen one like this. You can see the little
Mm.
eyes there and very interesting. I love the color variations. And let's go to my second article. And my second say what is inside the making of a world-class corn maze. And Tim
Mm.
Fitzgerald had a 22-year career as an industrial trade show designer. So he was used to fitting things in spaces, I guess. He became a farmer, Glenn. He went to Lafayette, Indiana, and he had spent time that long running Exploration Acres, which is Indiana's largest corn maze. Interesting. He plants later than commercial farmers, so his maize stays lush and green throughout the fall season, which is right about now. The farm was originally founded in the 1920s. It shifted to traditional agriculture to agritourism in 2008. That's a word. When he transformed it into a regional attraction. I was thinking of you and feet and people walking through the maze. That's why I picked this one. All about you. Early maze designs required planting full fields and carving the paths, but GPS guided tractors and speed tube planters drop corn seeds only where they are needed, essentially printing the layout. The creative themes have featured Stranger Things, moon landings, pirates, and now the bicentennial of Lafayette, Indiana. And each design blends logistics, agricultural science, and artistry, and they get 45,000 visitors each fall.
Oh,
Interesting?
that is very interesting.
Interesting. I thought you would like that. There's a maze in there. You can see the maze right here on the right side of the
That's
screen.
incredible.
Okay, and then we'll skip the rest of it. And then I thought you get a kick out of this, especially after you told me what you have for breakfast. 6 weird sandwiches people used to eat. This is from historyfacts.com. And I'm just going to run through this. It was the
Oh.
oyster sandwich, which was written in Mary Randolph's 1824 cookbook,
Mm.
The Virginia Housewife, and in Ava Green Fuller's 1909 up to date sandwich book, where she adds Tabasco, lemon juice, and oil to chopped raw oysters, slathers on white bread, and tops it with a lettuce leaf. Would you eat that?
No.
Okay, wouldn't I eat? I wouldn't either. Then Fleischmann's decided to promote yeast as a sandwich filling. Okay, I'm going to clear my throat because nobody's eating that. It was in Florence Cowell's 1001 Sandwiches in 1936. She adds table sauce, and she didn't say whether it's Worcestershire or ketchup, to a cake. I can't believe this, Glenn, of compressed yeast and spreads it on a cracker. Would you eat that?
Nope.
That's why we don't talk about it anymore. Then we have the pickle sandwich. I'm going to split the screen here. 1916 salad, sandwiches, and chafing dish recipes mixes pickles with whipped cream, mayonnaise, grated horseradish, and adds chopped cooked beef atop buttered bread. Would you do that to a pickle?
I probably eat that, but not the horseradish. Yeah.
I like horseradish sometimes. Okay, then we have a popcorn sandwich. In the up-to-date sandwich book again in 1909, you put popcorn on buttered toast. You add 5 boned sardines. Why isn't it a sardine sandwich? A dash of Worcestershire and enough tomato ketchup to make a paste. Popcorn. Would you eat that, Glenn? Come
No,
on.
I would no. It's
Play
no.
along. Then we have a toast sandwich. And this was in 1861. Isabella Beeton's book of household management. She inserted cold toast between 2 slices of buttered bread with salt and pepper. She added slices of meat. It was revived by the UK's Royal Society of Chemistry in 2011, and it's on the menu of the Fat Doug restaurant, Duck, in Bray, Berkshire, England. Would you eat a toast sandwich?
I think that's what my mom fed me.
Okay, I was going to say the question is why. And then we have a mashed potato. This is the last one. Then we have a mashed potato sandwich. This is called the greatest man sandwich in the world. They attribute it apocryphally to actor and dancer Gene Kelly, but nobody has really proved that he created it. It's a thick layer of leftover mashed potatoes on buttered French bread, and you top it with onion slices, mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. Then you brown it in a broiler. Of course, the mayonnaise will brown and get almost like a little bit like a meringue, you know? According to one recipe, it should be enjoyed with the nearest mug of beer.
I'll pass on that one.
I will pass on that one too. Those are my say what? Anything in there you want to have for dinner
Oh
tonight, Glenn?
man, no, no sandwiches for me tonight.
Okay, final question, final topic. If somebody is watching and they know a young man who says, "Oh, I want to be a cool dude like Dr. Glen Robison. He's so cool. He paints and he cares about people and he's traveled and he helps people and he has such artistic talent. He's got persistence and he knows how to commit to something and do it well and he's always learning." I'm talking about you. What would you say? How could they become a cool dude like you? Of course, they couldn't be cool dude 50 because they have to be by 51 and contact me right away. But Glenn, how would you tell somebody to embrace what you've embraced in terms of your cool dude lifestyle? I can say that.
I would say to him, your greatest goal is going to have your greatest journey. So be patient in the process because there's an equal and opposite force. The greater the goal, the greater the challenges, as some people will say. But if you can get through it, life is just incredible. And I've passed through a lot of those levels, and here I am now. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Cool dude. I hope this is a good milestone for you, becoming Bonnie D's 50th cool dude. If there were a crown or something, I would certainly. Let me see if I can find some congratulatory music for you. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, if I can make that a little bit louder, I'll be a genius. Okay, there we go. Got it? Okay, that's for you. That's for you. I tell people when I mentor people, I used to mentor some women I knew in corporate when I was working as a marketing director for a big software company. People come to me and say, "What should I do with my career?" And I'd say, if you see the door is open just a little bit, kick it open, see what's on the other side. It might be an opportunity. And Leonard Cohen, the wonderful poet and singer and speaker from Canada who passed away a couple years ago, one of his songs talk about the light coming through the window. And that's my other part is if you see light coming through the window, open the damn window. There might be an opportunity. There might be a person you need to meet. Look how I met Glenn Robison. You pitched me. Did I meet you put through the publicity summit? Is that how I
You
met you?
did.
Yeah,
Yes.
you were one of 35 or 40 or 50 people I met in a speed round of, it wasn't speed dating, it was speed booking. And I booked you and I didn't know who you were, anything. And I took a chance because you had such an interesting personality and you had 2 minutes to pitch me on the clock, 2 minutes. And based on that, you've been on one show and now you're my 50th cool dude. So you never know what's on the other side as the light. Now the light's coming in and cutting me right in half. You see it? It's coming in through the blinds here. Oh, we got good one there. I'm gonna move over. I have to stay near my microphone. Glenn, it's been a delight getting to know you. You can keep your morning drink, but I'll stay with my banana shake. But I think we'll each have our own gratitude practice. I think that's a wonderful way to start the day. And I only started mine about a month ago, and it
Oh,
just feels right.
yes. Yes.
Just
Mhm.
feels right to be quiet and just say this and then pulse the milkshake and yes, yes, yes. So let me go and play our outro music and let's see if we can get okay, there we go. Oh, you know what? You can't hear it because I didn't go back and turn on the sound sharing on the autumn. There's so much to do when you're producing your own show. I tell you. There we go. Now we're gonna play the outro. Here we go. Bingo.
Wanna be
There we go.
a cool
A cool kid. Sorry about that. I was playing a pause before. I was the only one who could hear it. So much to do. Looking real. Cool and fine. Get the drums, fun.
So you wanna be.
Pop, 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 pop. Thank you very much to Serge Hoffman, my good friend in Paris, for writing the music and singing the lyrics to my song, and Glen R. It's been